Return, Catfish Bay Casino.
Next up, we got Nick Klein up against Phil Ahrens, who is a proud veteran of this cage, of cage aggression. Fought tons of times.
Oh yeah, moving up in weight right here. See a couple, I believe they're fighting at 205.
Looks like 185.
185. Okay, so Phil's made that cut back down. Awesome. I mean, he's in fantastic shape when he cuts to 185.
Yes, he is.
So.
I saw him at the weigh-ins, and he looked great.
Good. Everything's in order.
So coming out right now is Divine Nick Klein, 6'1", 185, from Adel, Wisconsin. He's another Pura Vida jiu-jitsu fighter. So
Fantastic. I love the relationship.
I love watching
Mike,
these guys.
Yeah, I love the relationship that Mike has built with them, and they add another element to the significance of cage aggression with their skill set that they offer and the talent that comes from their gym.
This is an interesting matchup with this guy, because there's no secret to what Phil's going to want to do. He's going to want to take it to the ground. I want to see how his skills match up against one of these good jiu-jitsu guys right here.
Man, and to be honest, do we say good jiu-jitsu guys or do we say all-around fighters? Because I have not seen one of these fighters from Pura Vida not be athletic and talented. You know what I mean? And for him to...
Did you just see how high he jumped?
Yeah, that vert looks at least 38.
This saying something about him.
Oh yeah, this is second.
Perseverance. It really shows a lot, about your character when you're able to bounce back from tough things that happen in your life, and it's like nothing even happened. You would never know it. I didn't even know it. It really shows how tough of a guy he is.
Absolutely.
In general, and fighting is no different, man. He's very tough.
Absolutely. I mean, you don't have to be a fighter to fight, or you know what I mean? You don't have to fight to be a fighter in life. Whether that be, it's all in a sense of not giving up and continue to carry on in this race of life, whatever the battle may be. And for his instance, it's to face the adversity of losing a finger and getting back in the cage, which this would be his second cage fight since that injury. So he's over there with Kenny Nyquist and those guys. It's be a good clash right here, a couple big boys. Phil hits hard. For him to come in and from Nick Klein to come in and with that explosive roll, I can only think that they're going to meet right there, that cage aggression logo, and start trading.
There's going to be some bombs throwing, man. Big boys. You don't see the big boys very often. We got a heavyweight fight coming up here in 2 more fights, and I'm really excited for that fight. But even 185ers, man, they pack such a punch. And this card is usually stacked. Yesterday and today, a majority of them are at 170.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout of the evening is scheduled for 5 3-minute rounds for the Caged Aggression Middleweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall and weighed in at 185 pounds. He trains at Pura Vida Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, joining us from Adel, Wisconsin, Divine Nick Klein. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall and weighed in at 186 pounds. He trains at Nyquist Roundhouse MMA and is sponsored by Yabba Dabba's House of Glass, Kratom Corner, and Bleeding Heart Studios. Joining us from East Moline, Illinois, the bully, Phillip Ahrens.
Quarter save is a quarter earned.
Here we go.
Action, nonstop. What'd I say?
Oh,
right
nice.
there.
Right in the middle.
Phil's doing a good job staying really long. I'm surprised he would shoot for a takedown. He's already landed really good punches.
Yeah, he was having success with his range there. It was
Phil's size is going to be very difficult for this guy to deal with, man. Phil will grapple. And I've seen Phil in gym with Eldrin Nunn, with Dave Sevier, and perform very well. You know what I mean? He's under the tutelage with Spencer Fisher. I believe he's a blue belt and Mike Huser's jiu-jitsu. I mean, he does what he needs to do. I like to see his patience right here, and he's been battling things. So in his mind, mentally, a fight is a little bit easier, huh? Than some of the adversity that we deal with in life, right?
Most definitely.
He's looking good. Like I said already, he's staying really long, keeping him back with that teep and just really long punches. Now here's Klein's got the body lock, and he pulls him to the ground, right into side control.
Phil's going to start shrimping immediately. I like that he's using the cage. Klein's doing a great job of keeping that no distance. I like that step over right there to staple that down.
That's
to
really
staple
nice.
that. Fantastic. You can tell that he wants to rain some punches down. Phil has a good job of creating space to do it. He'll get back to that guard. Look how long he is.
So long and so strong, Phil. You know, he can just go ahead and get his position back pretty easy.
Here he goes right here. That cage. And Klein does a great job keeping his hips squared up, staying in center.
Yeah, and his head control. You know, he's got his head right in his chin.
Absolutely.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah, it's really uncomfortable.
I like to see Phil go with the underhook. Underhook will be beneficial. He's looking for that triangle.
Throwing triangles up here. He's trying to bury a hand, but doesn't seem to be working. Klein recognizes it pretty easily.
Not well when you're pushed up against the cage there.
Phil's got to remember to breathe.
Now he's got it here.
Absolutely.
Now what he needs to do is circle out, get an underhook on his left.
Nice,
Nope,
nice.
and he's
nice.
out.
Phil's throwing up subs.
Yeah, and he's definitely staying more active.
And once again, to slow it down and think about from the judge's perspective, how do you judge these with him on top and him throwing up offensive submissions? You know, is this a neutral position?
You know, I guess perception is reality. So whatever these judges think is the truth. You know, that's Bible.
Phil needs to start working that underhook. I think that would be very beneficial for him. But he's doing a good job keeping his hips off and keeping him unbalanced to be able to posture up and throw anything down. But this is the chess match right here, once again.
Yeah, and you know, like you said already, I think Phil is staying way more busy than Klein is. And he rolls for an armbar there, and you know, he's just throwing up submission after submission.
Very active.
Now he's trying to create some distance. Maybe he can get back to his feet, because he had some good success on his feet, I think. To be honest, I think that's a good round for Phil.
I thought Phil did a good job of keeping. He's got to understand, and this is where sparring is so important, because you have to understand the distance and striking, and understand the. You know, you have to go through that instance in a fight where you throw those combos and he smothered himself. There's no need for him to shoot that double. He could have stayed right there and checked that distance, maybe worked his low calf kicks. What I really liked was that Nick Klein kept his hands up, kept his defense going, and he walked him down, walked him forward a little bit, and used the cage so that Phil couldn't be active and mobile. You know what I mean? So he shut him down to work in that takedown. But once again, Phil is the one who initiated the takedown.
Smiled at him. Smiled at him right away after everything he did. Came right back at him and smiled at him. He's a gamer.
Definitely.
Yeah, he's with it. He's with it. I don't know if the smiling and if it's scaring Phil by any means.
Oh, absolutely not.
Phil's gonna come out with a little sense of urgency right here.
Phil's had enough fights to know, you know what I mean? Nothing's gonna really weather him, you know. He's gonna go out there and do his own thing, and I'm ready to see what he can do this second round.
I'm excited right here, fellas. They're about to meet in the middle and get down again. There goes the takedown. Phil needs to stop getting tied up. He needs to use that outside left leg.
Yeah, his left leg, he needs to get that knee across, you know, create the distance with the hips. If Klein can get his hips in line with, you know, close and in line just like that with Phil's hips, then he's able to get the takedown real easy like that, you know. But if their hips were apart, you know, he's got no legs to lift him.
Yeah, he really needs to go with that left underhook or that right underhook right here and start shrimping his legs out. He's got that right arm trap. He can actually roll right there if he would dive under. Little jiu-jitsu tricks. He's doing a good job trying not to get mounted, keeping distance. And
working hard to get his guard back here
Yeah,
in the half.
And he needs to get that, like you said, he needs to get that right underhook. He's going across the body, but you know, he's probably not going to get the chances are low that he's going to get that Kimura sweep from the half guard. It's just too tough.
yeah, he's doing a good job reaching his arm in.
Now he can use it as a sweep to pull him the other way, but not able to, and gets out.
Back to guard. He's got to use that cage to get to his feet.
Yes.
This is another one of them times where the closed guard is your Achilles heel. You know, you got to open your guard up.
You're not being offensive. You're not creating
half
space.
of this round is over, and he's spent a lot of it on his back.
And there's a lot more sweat in this round than there was in the first round. So the chances of these submissions playing off are a little bit slimmer.
Phil's doing a good job keeping his hips off. Keeps going left and right, throwing up these submissions. But Klein recognizes all of it. This is a better round for Klein. I think he's goes for a little ankle lock there.
But right now, we're saying that keep going up for the submissions. We're in the second round now. You know, both guys have been in there a whole time, and they're wet now. You know,
they are,
and they're tired. They're getting more tired.
And Phil really needs good hammer fist. Phil really needs to get to his feet and use his distance. I think the distance is what's really going to help him. He's too tall, and the guy is smothering him and not allowing Phil to use his distance in his favor. To his feet.
Get up here.
Right now, right there, you need to create that space.
That was his opportunity, and he
really
didn't capitalize.
Man, with Phil's long body physique, I mean, it's harder for him to get to his feet in that explosive manner. You know what I mean? And because I have the same type of long physique. Great job by Bruce to get that mouthpiece slid in there at a quick break. Goes a 10-second.
And just before the 10-second marker, Klein got that guard pass there, and now he's in half. That was a much better round for Klein. I'd have to give it to him. That was a great round. He was a lot more aggressive. He stayed a little more active.
Kept a lot of pressure, kept his position well, and rained down some shots, and was pretty dominant.
Yeah, and Phil, I mean, throwing up all them submissions in the first round, he probably wore himself out a little bit, you know, and he wasn't able to do it as much this time as he was last.
No, maybe not. Dude was a little bit more relentless with that takedown. Immediately got his double underhooks, and what Phil needs to work on right now is using his underhooks, swimming a little bit more, and really just pumping that jab, man, snapping that kick at his face. He has height. Me as a normal taller fighter fighting at 135, what I really like to do is sometimes I'll flash that front kick to the face, get their mind knowing, hey, I got it, I'll use it. George Masvidal just recently used that flying knee right out the gate and it landed, but I'm guessing it was to alter the idea of Askren wanting to lower his level. But I'd really like to see Phil use his length right here. Nick Klein's doing a great job. I'm guessing he's going to come out and fight for those underhooks right now. Here we go, third and final round.
Phil definitely looks like the more tired fighter in this fight right now.
It's a 5-round battle. This is for the title fight maybe, huh?
Oh, good Superman punch by Phil there.
Really nice.
Should have followed that up with the lead leg kick.
Really nice. Like set that kick up with some punches, you know. Stay long. Use your jab. Phil's got a good jab that he's not really using.
Just pumping it, you know what I mean? Measuring. It's used for different tools. Measuring. Left hook after that would be nice. At 2-3.
Good kick there by Phil.
Nice right.
Very
Keep
nice.
stay off right there. Exactly. Stay off like this. Use that long range.
Oh, and he ducks under that overhand right and gets the takedown. What good timing there by Klein.
And Phil was doing a great job.
Phil's got to watch
right
the fingers
there.
there.
I'd like to see Phil put his feet on his hips right here. Put his feet on his hips and start pushing out. The trip is nice.
He could get the sweep right here.
Sweep is nice. I'd like to see that right leg go inside for a sweep, but I understand the difficulty when someone's punching you.
If you were in Phil's corner, you had to tell him if it comes back to this position, you got to have the urgency to get back to your feet. The submission attempts ain't working. Get back to your feet. If you're on the cage, work on that cage to get back up, get your underhooks. And I'd like to see him start doing that now, but it's looking like he wants to keep the closed guard and just keep.
Feet need to be on the hips. He needs to try to redirect his body so he can go to the cage, so he can sit in the seat and start working and making those small little technical moves to get to his feet. Underhook, hipping out, pushing the head down, side to side. You know what I mean? But I mean, he's still fighting for this submission here. He's being active. I'd like to see a few more punches for Phil. Nick Klein's doing a great job of just staying squared up and And
you know, he's not staying very active on top. You know, the ref could probably step in and separate these guys and put them back to their feet because he's really not doing anything. Nobody's really moving. I'd like to see him stand back up.
Yeah. There goes Bruce right there telling him.
He's already warning him. That's good. Good way to recognize that.
Bruce knows. Bruce knows.
Bruce is the boss for a reason.
He's reffed quite a few of my fights, and I've been in this position right here where they're not working enough. And I've looked at Bruce and said, hey, that might not always be the smartest way to go about it, but Bruce definitely recognizes when activity isn't being played out. I like to see I like what he's doing, but he's locking. I like what Phil's doing, but he's just locking his hands down. Right. Elevator sweep, but he needs his left leg to be on the inside.
More if he's strong enough. And
there you go.
Use it as a sweep. If he really uses his legs and tries to.
He broke the grip.
10 seconds left here, so the possibility of him getting a submission right now is pretty minimal.
You can hear Phil fighting. He's doing a good job. Oh, he got it. Nick Klein's up, and I did not see the amount of blood coming from his face.
Oh, yeah, I did not notice that at all.
Phil must have went to work a little bit. And this is a 5-round fight right here.
Good.
So, which I was confused about, and I'm sorry, guys, but this is a 5-round fight. Phil comes out and wins next couple. We don't know how these judges, how they scored it. And I mean, what do you guys think Phil needs to do to turn this fight around?
I think, you know, what I've been saying this whole time is he needs to stay on the feet and keep that distance and just, you know, stop from getting taken down. You know, use better takedown defense.
And we've been preaching it all night. And if he does get taken down, work to get back up. Stop throwing these submissions. You can't lay on your back. We've seen it before in cage aggression fights where they're on their back and they could be active, but they're still on their back, and it's just about what the judges are seeing at that night.
It looks good, but I just don't think it looks good enough. You know, you've got to be able to sweep or get back to your feet in an MMA fight because this isn't a jiu-jitsu match.
The thing I like about Phil going in with this fight right now is we're getting to the championship rounds, and he's been here before. You know, he was the champ a couple times, so he knows what to do in these 4th and 5th rounds, so let's see if he can do it.
Oh, yeah. And he's been in the room with killers. He understands, but I like to see him. I see Klein talking to him a little bit. I don't know what they're talking about, but
good uppercut by
nice.
Phil. Yeah, he needs to get those uppercuts right there. That's good.
Distance. Phil needs to be pushing off right here.
Yeah, he needs
allowing
to be
that underhook right there is hurting him each time. And it's the same. This is the same takedown that he's got him with. It's that double underhooks, outside trip.
Yep, and he goes right to mount here. He was looking to trap an arm there for a second, but he wasn't able to. But now he's able to posture up and rain down punches, just creating space by pushing on his face.
Phil's doing a great job of keeping his hands on the inside so that Klein can't drop punches. But Klein
needs a shrimp.
Klein's shorter, athletic. Sometimes this is one of those times where I feel that cutting weight is overrated. Klein's a smaller, shorter guy, a little bit more speed, mobility. Sometimes cutting weight cannot be so beneficial. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like this is where one of those fights. It's adding up. Phil's doing a good job. If he could use his takedown defenses and his length a little bit better, then I'd like it. But Klein's speed and activity on the ground is too much for Phil right now.
Yeah. And, you know, going back to what you were saying, you know, Phil's the bigger guy. You know, maybe he's not athletic enough for the 185-pound division. You know,
and we don't mean it even like
weight.
that. It's just that sometimes that's how it works out. You know.
Yeah, your body mechanics are different. When you're so big, you can't move like the littler guys.
Nope.
You know, and the weight cut itself is draining.
It is.
That's probably why he's paying for this in the 4th round. He's hurting. You can tell.
A little bit tired. Phil's doing a good job of staying fighting and still working for subs, still keeping his hips moving. He's not being complacent and laying flat on his back.
He's definitely not laying there and just taking his punch. I mean, he's still trying to be offensive off his back. He's still in the fight 100%.
Yeah. Open that guard up, Phil. Put your feet on his waist. Get your back to that cage and start working your little details to get to your feet. Throwing that head to the side, pushing that head down, stuffing it, underhook, posting on your hand, getting that knee out.
talking a lot about what Phil needs to do, but let's talk about what Nick is doing. He's being, you know what I mean, perfect technique on top, head in the center. He's staying, you know what I'm saying,
Textbook.
on base and just raining down punches and being real technical on top and just taking his time. He ain't rushing anything. He's just beating him up.
And I'm guessing
he's just being active enough.
Yes.
You know? He's not opening up too much and making mistakes. You know, he's keeping it really basic and just doing enough to stay on the ground.
And that's the high level of pure Vito right there. Good job, gentlemen.
Being real technical and doing enough to where Bruce Buffer does not have to stand this up, but let him keep raining down.
Bruce Buffer. Oops. Bruce Puffer. Anyway, fantastic fourth round. Headed to the fifth and final round. What a way to bring it back after our intermission. Wonder what the corners are explaining to them right now. What are you saying to your fighter right now? What are you saying to Phil and what are you saying to Nick?
You know, I'm telling Phil he needs a finish. I think he's down 3-1, and that's if the judges gave him the first round. So he could arguably be down 4 rounds. He needs to stay on the feet and throw uppercuts and not get too close and not allow Klein to get too close to him.
He's definitely got to come out and fight with some urgency. If you're in Klein's corner, you tell him, do exactly what you've been doing, and you got yourself a clear victory.
Exactly. Another 3 minutes and he's got the W.
Got to dig deep right here.
Just got to tell Phil, you know, you got 3 minutes of hell left here. You know, you can do anything for 3 more minutes, you know.
He's going for the head.
Shorten some of the punches up.
I would probably try to avoid throwing any kicks if I was
At this point in time, yeah.
No kicks at all
and
whatsoever.
trying to overcommit like that to punches.
Yeah.
Got to keep it basic.
I make sure when I fight wrestlers, man, it's inside leg kicks or no leg kicks.
Yes.
Or snap kick to the face.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Just to get in their mindset that I have that tool.
And now that he's on the ground, his main focus right now should be to get the hell out.
It's going to be, right now I'm guessing he's still thinking submission, and it's fantastic. But at this point in time, your chances of catching somebody in a submission with the amount of sweat on their body is very...
And I mean, he's exhausted. Yeah, no doubt about it. Even the most in shape person is going to be exhausted after 12 minutes of fighting. You know?
That head, when it lays flat on the mat, we all know that jiu-jitsu rule.
Yeah.
It should never be flat on the mat.
Exactly.
Unless you're trying to oompa.
He's worn out.
Those underhooks. And once again, with a lot of these fighters, it's a few little tweaks in their game that make a change to the whole fight.
Oh, yeah.
That's the talent level that Mike Goodwin searches for, though. I mean, and what he knows. I mean, all these fights are so close.
There we go.
Let's go.
Awesome.
There we go.
That's what I like to see right here.
These fans paid a lot of money for the tickets. Let's let them work. Got to dig their body right there. I really like a dig to the body.
Oh, good
nice
uppercut. There by
Very
Phil.
good uppercut. Uh-oh. There it is.
He's snatching for that.
And he has, I mean, he's just too tired to pose any type of defense.
Well,
from the
let's
takedown.
be honest. I mean,
Go. Keep going.
who's the biggest guy shooting doubles on him at the gym?
Come on.
Brock?
Break that arm.
Brock's a stud.
Yeah.
I get it. But the level and the speed and the size of this guy compared to Brock is night and day.
Yeah, I agree fully.
So this is where Phil needs to put himself
Come on, Phil. You got this. Let's go.
around fighters with that level of wrestling,
that
or
are
with
gonna
that
challenge
with the knowledge or the information that he needs to be able to defend these takedowns.
Yes, the proper technique.
I was that fighter a couple years ago who couldn't stop a takedown. Depending the level of the skill set, I might not be able to stop the takedown.
Right.
Reason being why I box. But he needs to put himself around those people.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, and he drops back with an ankle lock and gets
Quick, just like that.
Oh,
it. Just
Phil.
like that. We didn't even have time to recognize it. That was slick.
Fantastic fight. Just I just hope that the fans understand the amount of skill that went into this fight, man, and they understand the amount of dedication that went into this fight. Fantastic job. They both did a great job, man.
How taxing that fight is right there for, honestly, we're going to say both guys, for Nick to be on top nonstop like that and just keep his base and, you know what I mean, just rain down some punishment, and then for Phil to carry it the whole fight, you know what I mean?
Tough, dudes.
Both of them.
Whoa, how hard is it to continue something when someone's on top of you punching you?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a difficult thing. And Mike Goodwin's coming in to crown a new champ.
Slick, quick submission there in the 5th round in the championship rounds, and now, you know, he's going to be crowned the champ.
Let's send it in to Jason Vargas. Give us our decision here.
Ladies and gentlemen, your referee, Bruce Allen, has called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes, 52 seconds into round 5, declaring your winner by submission due to heel hook, Divine Nick Klein.
Good job, buddy.
All right, we're here with your winner and new Caged Aggression amateur middleweight champion, Divine Nick Klein. Divine, I know you just had a very, very tough fight behind you there. I won't keep you too long, but real quick, man, I like the Caged Aggression strap right now, my friend.
It's an awesome promotion to be a part of. Not much of this goes to me, man. It's all my team, my coaches, my teammates, my family, everyone who came to watch. I mean, it's been awesome, Iowa. Pleasure to come out here and compete. It's really all I got.
There was a lot of back and forth. You definitely fended off a lot of submissions in that bout. Why don't you walk us through that finish there at the end, man? Very technical finish.
I mean, ground and pound is a pretty strong part of my game, and I knew I had most of the fight won, so in the last 10 seconds, why not drop for a leg lock, you know, and see if I can just get a finish, which paid off, came through, so.
Yes, it did. Well, hey, like I said, I know you're tired. Anything else you got to say, or I can let you get back to the locker room, Nick?
No, I just want to thank my family, my parents, my brother, my mom, if she could be here, my mom's boyfriend, Eric. They all made a long drive down here to watch, and that really means the most to me. I mean, no offense to Cage Aggression, but having my family here to watch means more than the belt or the fight or just the support. So thanks, Iowa. I'm sure I'll be back.
We're definitely looking forward to it. One more time for your new Caged Aggression amateur middleweight champion, Divine Nick Klein, ladies and gentlemen.